Welcome to Bill's Aviation Podcast, where your stories are our stories. I'm a general aviation pilot, aviation writer, airplane builder, avionics developer, test pilot, and general screw-up. All stories feature Joe and his merry band of miscreants. The purpose of these stories is to educate and entertain pilots. If you have a story you'd like to share anonymously, please contact me. Today's story is titled, Joe Throws His Back Out. Joe woke up Tuesday morning to a beautiful spring day. As he was eating breakfast on his deck and listening to the birds chirping, thinking about the day ahead, he decided his time would be better spent playing hooky from work. After breakfast, Joe called and left a message on his boss's work phone rather than texting or calling his cell phone. The message was purposely vague, as Joe did not like lying to his boss. "Boss, it's Joe. I don't feel great this morning and think I'd better not come in." With that task done, Joe drove out to the airport where he pulled his tailorcraft out of the hangar, performed a pre-flight, and off he went. Joe had a great day soaring around the mountains, thermaling with a hawk, sightseeing, visiting retired friends, flying down along the river, and generally being an aviation hooligan. What a beautiful day, Joe thought as he turned towards home. After a smooth landing and topping off both tanks on the little T-craft, it was time to put her away. Joe taxied up to his hangar, spun it around so the tail would point towards the open hangar, and shut her down. Hopping out with all the enthusiasm and refreshed soul that only a few undisturbed hours of cruising the mountains in an airplane can give a person, Joe was in great spirits. Grabbing the handle that sticks out of the lower longeron on the tail of the T-craft, Joe lifted the tail to pull it back into the hangar. It was then that Joe felt something pull, and it wasn't the plane. His back started screaming in protest. While the T-craft isn't heavy, it was just enough to throw Joe's back out. Joe was able to get the little T-craft back in the hangar, clean off the bugs, install the wing covers, and hobble to his truck for the drive home. The next morning, still in pain, Joe had to go to work. As Joe extracted himself from his truck, his boss pulled up in the parking spot next to him. Seeing Joe was in obvious pain, his boss commented, "I thought you were kidding me and giving me a line of BS about not feeling good yesterday. I thought you might have been out playing around with your little airplane as it was such a nice day." To which Joe replied with a simple grunt. Lesson learned: when calling in sick to go play, leave your boss with a vague message, but try not to throw out your back while enjoying the time off. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed what you heard, please hit the like button, thumbs up, and subscribe by clicking on the logo in the lower right of your screen. If you really like what you heard, please help support the channel and become a Patreon. Part of each donation will go to aviation safety and aviation youth programs. Be sure to check out next week's story about Joe almost getting sucked up into a thunderstorm.